Welcome to PaRANTing. It's a podcast about kids, but kids shouldn't listen.
No, they should not. Welcome to another episode of PaRANTing. I'm Mark Adam, all the way over here in Winnipeg. My partner in crime is, as usual, my good old cousin, Katie G.
What up? All the way over here in the Halifax, Nova Scotia. Woot woot.
Yeah.
I'm doing the really tacky raise the roof old people dance. You're welcome.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, lady.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Everybody knows. Everybody.
What did we talk about singing? We just talked about it.
Right. Sorry. All right, so.
Welcome back, episode 25.
Right? I'm excited. Episode
I even
25.
knew that this time.
1/4 of a century worth of episodes. Weeks.
It's crazy to think that we actually started this in 2018. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, brain hard. I get it. It's
I know. Listen. Anyway, but it is crazy. Like we started it and then we took a smidge of a break. And then now we're back.
Like a year and a half.
Just a smidge. Like we said, in adult time, that is kind of a smidge in time, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we're back. Episode 25. Look at us.
Look at
it's like
us.
some sort of milestone.
I mean, it should be if it isn't.
I mean, we're still here, so that's kind of a milestone all on its own.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people are still somewhere out of spite. You keep trying to kill me, but I just keep on living.
That's true. That's true. You know, it's fun because I do say that about, either a family member in all the love or whatever, or even like animals that just kind of hang out for like to the very end. It's like, I think it's almost like if you have like a jackass kind of family member or whatever, you're like, they're like 142 and they're just hanging on just out of pure spite.
Listen,
that'll be me someday.
Our grandmother, Nanny, she used to say, you can't kill a bad thing. And that's why she said, you're going to live forever. Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
So,
Grammy.
good times.
She's so sweet.
Just good old Nan.
She's 83 now. Isn't that insane? I mean,
that's how time works, but yeah, I mean,
I know. I forget sometimes that we're actually doing a podcast that people are listening to and they don't give a crap about half the stuff that I'm saying. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, I like forget that it's not just you and me just chatting about our family. Anyway, forget me. Continue.
Okay. That was all right. Well, yeah, fair enough.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'll drink my coffee.
I'm going to pound my tea. I feel you so strongly. It's crazy.
I know. I feel like we're all in I was thinking about this episode and I was like, because a lot of the time I do like a little bit, like I'll find either some stories that I think might be relevant or some topics or whatever. Of course, I'm always doing the top tweet things. And like right now, as much as I would hate, I don't want this to be like, we're always talking about, the COVID situation and, everything that's happening. However, it's so very real and relevant and what's happening. And I think especially right now, this isn't like a downer thing. It's just, I think I kind of was researching more of like how to help us parents get through like another potential / actual lockdown again with our kids. Because, that's pretty stressful. So it's like, oh my God, I was like, how help. And when you put help into Google, it's very broad. So I had to narrow it down to suggestions for a potential lockdown, because what I was reading, here, there's a lot more cases in Nova Scotia, in particular, like in my area in Halifax, there's been like a spike, and I know across Canada there has been too.
Oh,
and
God.
So
I live in Manitoba. We are leading the country in cases per capita. That's not a thing you want to be leading at.
No. I mean, you guys are winning at not winning.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It really sucks. Anyway, this isn't supposed to be a downer. It's just most of like it's so real and like I can't just pretend like it's not happening. So I kind of made like most of my focus on like, hey, like maybe we can actually get some like real tips to help people kind of get through because I believe what's going to happen because of what's going on right now. The Christmas break that's coming up and a few weeks, I think is going to be extended or even start earlier than anticipated. I just have a feeling.
Oh no, I don't like that
So
feeling.
I know. Well, and it's just because I think, it's not like we're, mass numbers by the day. It's just I think because especially here in particular, where we were doing so well for such a long period of time that, I think it's good to be proactive and kind of, not start locking ourselves down, but start preparing for that and start, really like mentally preparing for that. Because I think that was the hardest part for me in particular. And maybe other people would relate to that as well. But the mental strain is what's kind of the hardest part for me. And so I just, I went on and got us a couple of little tips and stuff. So anyway, I wanted to actually chat to you because I know that your guys' numbers are actually crazy. So you guys are actually in like a full lockdown now? Like you guys, right?
It's whatever the next thing up from a full lockdown is. Like all the businesses have to be closed unless you're a massage therapy place for some reason.
Where people touch you?
Yeah, it's
What?
yeah, it's weird. The rules they have here have been inconsistent at best. I mean, when the first wave hit, Manitobans were like, screw everyone else. Like we went Atlantic bubble and just shut down. And as a result, like the Atlantic bubble, we had very few cases. Right. And then it turned around on us because everybody got complacent here. And it's a pretty conservative supporting province. And a lot of the conservative messaging is that COVID is a liberal hoax and COVID is this and COVID isn't as bad as people say and it's harder to catch it than you think and all these things.
So go and try.
So it's just there's a lot of people in Manitoba who toe the conservative line, and unfortunately a lot of that comes from the lead the United States has been providing. I want to put that in air quotes because they've really been leading in how to not handle it properly. So, but now we're in this crazy place where like Manitobans, we're on a second wave and it's, there's 30 states ahead of us in the per capita cases thing. So if you look at the United States and Canada, it doesn't look so bad. But when you look at just Canada, we are number one and by a lot. Like it's not like Manitoba.
I didn't realize that. I would have, I thought it was like Ontario/Alberta that had the.
No, it's because when we're looking at it,
but I
it's
guess
by
the number
capita.
per capita, yeah.
That's the problem is that our population is so low and yet everyone's getting fucking infected, including my daughter's uncle.
Right.
So her mom's brother ended up testing positive because his girlfriend works at one of the elderly care homes that had a outbreak that's been all over the news.
Oh no!
So she works in one of those.
So she worked there,
and she tested positive, and then he tested positive, and good times.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, not
that's
ideal.
Really crazy. Not ideal. No, and that really sucks. Well, and because you were saying before we even started this, because your ex Amelia's mom had her baby, and so now she wants like Amelia to come over, right? But it's like, well, you have to be so careful with, I don't know the last time that he was there, and like,
Yeah, like yes, I understand.
Scary.
He saw her after you saw him, but did he see the girlfriend before you saw him? And was that when she was infected? Like, I'm just trying to work out all this how do I stay cautious shit in my head.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think at this point that I think maybe everyone could agree with is that being overcautious is the way to go, because
Yeah.
we clearly this is not going away as as fast as people thought. I mean, I know we're in November. It hasn't gone away quickly. I'm just saying, like, it's not going anywhere. And even though your numbers are really low or non-existent, like if you're at zero, where we were for a very long period of time, and now at any numbers we did have were just due to travel, people coming in and then they self-isolated, how quickly that turns around by, like you said before, being complacent. And, you're just like, I don't know. It sucks that it had to take like more numbers happening. You're like, oh crap, we're not done with this yet. So being overly cautious,
And
I
we
think,
knew. We
especially
knew.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're
It
right.
wasn't like it snuck up on us. Oh no,
Yeah.
Is this a second wave? Is that a thing? Everybody fucking knew in March that was the start. It would peter off and then it would come back as a second wave. We learned that because we looked at history. We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind to think that people are confused by what's happening.
I know. Well, exactly. There are people who are confused about it, which makes no sense. And there's people like probably myself that were, I was going to say not complacent, but I guess, yeah, like I was definitely in that mindset of, I was more relaxed, right? Because we had low numbers and because, so I was feeling more comfortable going to a restaurant and sitting down and having a beer after work on a Friday and not really thinking much about it. And, they're kind of like in downtown doing this thing. I think they were, going out for a beer here or whatever. And then come to find out, I mean, at least they were still doing, on the establishment side of it, taking people's names and phone numbers so that when you went in there
Contact
and if
tracing.
anything was to happen, they would notify you kind of thing. So thankfully I think most places were doing that, which is why we know specifically the places that had potential exposure. So, and that's like, it just seems like every day there's like a new place added to that list. And so right now with me, just as of this morning on my call with work, we're basically going to be kind of right now. I think I mentioned in the last episode that we are doing 2 weeks in the office and 2 weeks work from home.
Yeah.
And so I am now just on the last week of my work from home. So I'm on my end of my second week work from home, supposed to go back to the office Monday. And it's very likely that that's not going to happen. It's very likely that I will be now working from home again full time.
Fine.
So because yeah. And I'm really stressed. Okay. So this is why I wanted to bring it up, not to be a downer, not to be a bummer, and not to stress everyone else. We're stressing together. We're all just trying to figure this out. But I wanted to be like, okay, I need to know what to do. Cause like I had a really good couple of months where I was like, I'm going to exercise and eat better and do all these things, which is way easier to do in the summer than it is in the winter. Cause in the winter time, I don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
I hibernate for the winter time. I tell my neighbors, I'll see you next summer. Love you. Bye. Unless you're dying, don't call me.
Yeah. And if you are dying, it had better be really dying.
But really dying. But anyway, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just stressing out. I'm like, anyway, I'm like, we have got the kids and, the back and forth because like we share, custody. So they go to our place and they go to their mom's place. So there's just so much to think about and to like really, I feel terrible for having to tell the kids like, we're really going to be locking it back up again, like for like my comfort's sake too. And I feel like I was talking to Rod about this yesterday because Allison, the oldest, is turning 16 next week, which is insanity. And so she we were going to go out for supper kind of beforehand, just kind of like as a pre-celebration. Her birthday's next week, so she won't be with us. But now I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I don't know if I'm comfortable right now going anywhere for supper. And I feel terrible. Like I feel guilty for feeling that way because I'm like, am I the jerk for not wanting to go out? But
in the long run, you're saving her. You're going to make the decision you feel is best for your family. Whether that pisses your family off or not depends on whether you have teenagers. But
that's exactly it.
And I get it, but you got to do what's safest, right? Like that's
I agree.
the bottom line. Do what's the safest thing for your family, period.
Yeah. And okay, so it's another thing. So this morning, Allison, I drive her to school on the weeks that I'm working from home, which looks like it's going to be for a while now. But
yeah.
So she's in the kitchen. She's like, "Do we have any cough drops?" I'm like, "Why? Are you sick? Do you have a sore throat? Are you feeling okay?" Because I am instantly go to that mode, right?
It's like,
like, why? Are you dying? Do you have COVID? What's happening?
People who sneeze now are just like, it's just allergies. Ah.
Yeah. Don't attack me, please.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly, of course, where my head goes. I'm like, why? What is do you have a sore throat? And then she goes, no, Nathan does, which is her boyfriend. And I was like,
we're not going over there. Are you kidding me?
Well, so she said, so before Rod left this morning, he told me that Nathan was coming over here after school today. And so when Allison told me that his throat was sore, I'm like, is he feeling okay? Or is it just like, is it sick? Because if he's sick, he can't come over. And then, of course, she immediately got like defensive and like,
he has a sore throat. No.
Right. Okay. This is a real issue, like live right now happening. I don't know what to do because Rod is going to pick up the girls or Allison from school early because they have a dentist appointment at 3:30 today. So after that, Nathan was supposed to come over and I am like having like a
panic attack.
I don't know. Can you tell about it? Because I'm like, I don't, first of all, I don't want to get sick. But second, like I'm not saying it is coronavirus. I'm just saying, like, if you're sick, you need to stay the hell home.
Stay to Blaze's home, right?
He's not feeling well. He shouldn't be at school, right? And now I'm starting to feel like an asshole. Like you said, like I know the right thing to do is to be like protective of my family, or and be like, okay, no one's coming into this house not feeling well. And also, if you're not feeling well, you're not going out. Like you're not going to school. Like that. I don't know if the kids really understand right now what's happening and that they
don't
this
get
is
the
happening
gravity
like
of it.
Again.
They don't get the gravity of it.
Yeah,
they
and like,
understand.
and I'm gonna be the jerk that's being like, I'm not comfortable if he's not feeling well that he comes into this house. Yeah, and then it's not like she can go there because then that defeats the whole purpose. But she's been with him at school today, so like, what do I do?
I would talk that over with Rob. I think that's an important thing to bring up with Rob because you two have to make the decision for your household. And, you know, it's tricky because, well, I'll tell you what's going on over here. Amelia's mom, my ex, had a baby yesterday.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
If you like babies.
Yeah, but my ex's brother 2 days before tested positive for coronavirus. So do I let my daughter go see her brand new baby brother?
Right.
Or
like logic would say, you'd be like, no, but it's not that easy.
It isn't that simple.
It's really not. Like maybe it should be that simple, but it's like, we can't not protect our family just to not hurt someone's feelings. I get that. And I think I know that, but in my heart, it's really difficult to make that decision.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, I feel where you are because it's obviously it's different, but it's a similar enough situation that it's the same feelings.
Exactly.
Of like, what do I do?
You don't want to be like the one that says, no, you can't go, or no, you can't do that because
but do I have to be? I feel like logically it doesn't make sense to let her go.
Yeah.
But
no,
but this is also a thing happening live because she's currently here.
Yes.
And as soon as I'm done with this call, we're going to do the rest of her schoolwork for the day. And you know what I mean? Like it's,
I know. I know. And I'm sure there are like,
sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm sure there's people are feeling the exact same way we are. And we're all just kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm in the position now where she called this morning to talk to Amelia. And then while she was on the call with Amelia, she invited her over. So now Amelia, of course, being 6, wants to go.
Yeah, that should have been a you and her conversation.
And she won't understand if I say no.
Right.
You
That's
can't.
what I mean. Because like then you're the bad guy, right?
Exactly. So I was put into a very awkward position here. And I feel like it's a little less awkward for you because it's not only your decision. You know what I mean? Like you're only going to be disappointing the teenager because that's a teenager's natural state.
I should be used to that anyway. Like, isn't that like the permanent state of a teenager? You're just always making them mad and ruining their life. I think
I hate you until I want something.
Right. Or need you to drive me somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit. Yeah. Get your damn license.
I actually was talking to her this morning while I was driving. I'm like, you excited to start driving? And she's like, well, I'm like, yes, no, you are. She's like, wait.
I am telling you, you are excited.
Yeah, you are pumped to start driving.
Exactly.
I just feel like if I just keep saying it, it'll make it true. On the selfish end of things, right? Yeah. That's how life works.
It totally is not how that works.
I know.
Yeah. Well.
I know. Tough situation. So we need to. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I will do. I'll give y'all an update.
Yeah.
Once I know
more.
Keep
us in the loop. Listen.
I'll keep you in the loop. Yeah.
I have a question for everybody out there. What do I do about remote learning? I mean, the work just keeps coming. Amelia's obviously, she's not going to school. We pulled her from school because there was a bunch of cases in her school of COVID. So she's home. Mm-hmm. And out of an abundance of caution, obviously, we took the remote learning option that her school provided.
Right.
But there's so much work. Like, it's not hard or anything. It takes so much time. And she's sick. She can't read on her own yet. She can read, like, while you're helping her, she can sort of be, like, put the words together and she double checks with you, but she can't read on her own. So
it's not like you can give her like a task of like, here, go do this independently.
Exactly.
Like, so you really have to be there.
Exactly. And I work from home, so it's not a problem, but I've had to shift all of the way that I work my day. And it's been really awkward for my productivity. I'm not trying to badmouth the remote learning process. I'm also not trying to say I don't have patience or time to sit with my daughter, because that's not the problem. The problem is, and the question is, how do I still be productive and manage all of that work while working from home? Because all day I have to do that, and then my girlfriend Katie works nights now. She works at 5 o'clock till like 1 a.m. So then it's just me and the kids until bedtime, which is 8 p.m. And then if I can, I sit down and I work until Katie gets home, and then we go to bed. So like I'm only getting 4 hours worth of work in every day. So how do I combat all the lost time? Does anybody have any tips or tricks that have kids that work from home? Like, what's the feeling out there? Help me out. We lost the Katie. Yeah, she just disappeared. 23 and a half minutes in. Yeah, we were done. We'll get her back in here. For those listening live and or to the recording on YouTube, apologies. We're having some possible technical difficulties. I am uncertain where she went. Let us find out. What happened? Did her computer crash? Did she leave because she hated what I was saying? I feel like maybe she left because she hated what I was saying. Yeah. It's really weird when your co-host just disappears from your recording. am very confused about that. But in the interest of entertaining those on YouTube, I could play a song. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. So she lost her network connection, which is fun. And I'm not sure how she's going to reconcile that. Yeah, she's her internet went down. It's rebooting. I love technology when it works. It's one of the greatest things when it works. Yeah. Yeah. So wonderful. We are just waiting on Katie's internet to boot back up. But man, I'm all in with Google. I love Google. It's wonderful. It has saved me so much time, but it has also taken so much of my time between setting it up and maintaining all the connections. And I've one of the smart speakers in pretty much every room of the house, and they're all connected, and I turn the lights in the house on and off everywhere, and all of that is wonderful. But sometimes when it's misbehaving, you're trying to turn the lights off, and all of a sudden, instead of turning the lights off, it's playing music in the living room on the TV and started a movie in your daughter's room while she's sleeping. Like, it's either an amazing thing or the most frustrating thing, depending on how well, I guess what's happening at the moment. It's very frustrating. Oh man. So we'll get her back in here as soon as her internet is up, and we will go from there. Nom 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 nom. All right, is she... Oh, I'm getting messages from Wi-Fi enabled things. All right. I'm just asking her on Slack if she's coming back. Oh, she's back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like WTF.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
So for those listening live on the YouTube, apologies.
Sorry.
All of that section will probably end up being cut out when I do the actual podcast recording. So if you're listening on YouTube, you got like 3 minutes of bonus Mark Adam and 3 less minutes of KDG. So,
which is probably not that bad.
All right, let's jump back into this.
So sorry about that. Yeah, my internet just completely shut down and everything just went black. I was like, oh.
That's not how that should work.
Oh no, my internet got COVID.
There was an anti-mask rally in Steinbeck.
I was going to ask you about that because I got the notification and I was like, what? Well, not that I'm surprised.
And so the premier, Mr. Pallister, what he's doing now is he's sending out to like anybody who was at this rally, they're going to be mailing out fines based on all of the license plates.
Oh.
So they're fining everybody that was at this rally.
Good.
And like, it's crazy.
That's exactly what should happen because that's stupid.
Like anti-maskers and anti-vax people are the same to me. They're just, your points are invalid because you continue to ignore the facts as they are presented. New information. Here you go. I would prefer not to learn new things because I love being bigoted and putting people at risk. It's my favorite.
Yeah. No, it's 100%. It's the same type of person, same mentality, all of that. Like it goes hand in hand with anything that, I don't know, they have to change the way that they live their life and whatever. It's just like this whole anyway. I'm so like when everything just like shut down, I was like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense. This is how the week's going.
My computer has coronavirus.
Yeah, it just like completely shut down. No, I 100% agree with you. It's very infuriating. You would think it would be obvious what's happening in the world, and things that are helping and things that aren't helping, but it's not, and that's really scary, honestly.
Yeah.
And I even here there were people just blatantly not following any rules, which they're those same people like you talked about. Even when our numbers were low, I'm like, okay, like I didn't get that upset about it because I'm like, well, whatever, like I it's stupid, but I mean, we're doing okay. And then, now we are not, not to the extent of you are, but anyway, it's just messed up. I don't understand how people can be just that ignorant, but I can, because we live in 2020 and we have,
the fact that Trump was president should be enough proof that stupidity can rule.
Mm-hmm.
Like, enough people voted for Donald fucking Trump in 2016 to make him president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
That, in and of itself, devoid of other context, should be enough to prove that if we do nothing, the stupid people will win.
That's
Stupidity
really true.
will win if we do nothing. It has been scientifically proven by The Apprentice.
Exactly. It's
so
true.
Anti-maskers
it's
don't
so incredibly
shock me anymore. It's not a thing that shocks me.
No, I know.
But it's a thing that infuriates me. There's a big difference. I am enraged by people that have the fucking balls to ignore all common sense and facts and go with, well, I heard. Well, good for you, Gomer. Like, you heard a couple of things. You already don't like the government because, well, other bullshit that you've heard, which also probably is a lie.
It's called confirmation bias, right? It's people who have a certain thought process and they will only read or agree with things that already agree with what their bias is. So it's like, I think this way.
Yeah.
So the articles that I'm reading say exactly how I feel. So that's their confirmation that what they think is correct, rather than like exploring other avenues and other, I don't know, Facebook comments. Like that's usually where the stupidity lies. But anyway, it's so incredibly frustrating, but it's those people exist, and I think they're always going to exist on some level. But like it's kind of up to us and the people who govern our countries or provinces, and that we need to make sure that we are making the best choices for everyone. And so I think that is what happened. I think that's mostly what's happening. I'm not saying it all is, but there's rules in place for a reason. I think that's step one. There are going to be idiots that are not going to want to follow those rules.
Yeah,
that goes without saying.
That's every system of rules ever.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I mean. Like it's everything, not just this particular pandemic that we're in. So it's just it's always just mind-boggling, and I feel like I'm just stuttering over my words, and I apologize. But like it just is frustrating. I just don't understand how there can be just that much ignorance, but there is, and so you create a podcast and you rant about it. Is that how we deal with life? I don't know.
That's how we deal with life. I don't know whether you should do that or not. I don't know. But I will tell you, if like it's just these people have identified themselves as having no idea what facts are. That's like they're endangering their children, my children, your children, by being selfish, stupid pricks.
Right.
And the thing is, it's selfish because they're just doing it because it lets them be mad at who they want to be mad at. And they don't care about the consequences. It's selfish. It's self-indulgent. And It's dangerous. It's hurting. Literally, it's spreading disease. And I hope everybody at that rally gets the fucking virus. Karma, bitch. Honestly.
But also, I don't think they're the two people that are going to go and spread it to everyone else because they're not going to follow the rules. I know what you mean. I 100% get it. I think that's where we come in as, I'm not going to say the smart people. I can't say that for myself because I can be a real idiot. But on this, I'm not stupid. But I think that's where, like we were talking about before my internet got corona, it's making those decisions for your family. And so I think what we need to protect ourselves and our family from the stupid people and from the people who continue to just not care and think that this is a hoax or whatever you want to call it. That's whatever. But we need to make sure that we're making the best decisions for our family. And I think that's where, like I said before, I'm struggling with the simple things. Like I know that we're not currently in my area locked down, but in order to prevent that, you need to make smart decisions. So it's like, I don't want to wait until it's real bad and then we're locked down. But like, why not
think of the kids, think of the elderly, think of the people at risk.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have to suffer as a teenager because you can't see your boyfriend, then I mean, I'm sorry, but I think I'm just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, I can't just be passive about it and be like, oh, well, whatever, hopefully everything will work out. Because that's really not a good mentality to have, right? But I am struggling because I'm going to be
Nothing
the bad
blocks
guy.
disease like hopes and prayers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's fucking frustrating. So I don't know where we are in the time frame of the podcast right now.
About 36 minutes minus the 3 minutes you disappeared.
Okay, so that's perfect. So what I wanted to do is I actually used the interweb before it crashed just to see what there was out there for like suggestions on things to either do in a lockdown or
good idea, especially with kids. Yes.
So there's it's a little difficult. So I think like with kids, especially like if it's when you're like what you're doing is homeschool parenting the kids, because that might become a thing again. It's harder. Yeah. I know it's much harder with little ones. Like you said, you can't just say, here's your task, go do it, leave them be, right? It's like with I can do that with our kids because I can help them if they need help with something, but it's really, here's your task, go do it. So there's not that, the onus isn't on me to sit down there and make them do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm sure there's some teenagers out there you'd have to sit and watch them and make sure that they did it because, if they have access to the internet, they're going to just be like, oh, I'm just going to go do this instead, which I get.
Teenagers are just now discovering how to get all the porn without getting caught. It's a weird time.
It's a fun time. Love 2020. Having a blast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Having a good time. So I did. Okay. So I went on, there was this one site and did I write it down? Oh crap. Anyway, I meant to write it down just to be like, here's where I got the ideas from, but I'm stupid. So I'll find it. I'll put it on like our Facebook or whatever, just to kind of give you a link to the page. But some of them were like, oh yeah, no, that's probably a good idea. And then some of it was like, absolutely not. And then some of it's just like, LOL, you're hilarious. So I guess what I wanted to share, some of these are, there was a lot of it that were saying that they want, to try and do stuff with your kids. A lot of them were based around like exercise. So like keeping your kids like active and like whether it's going outside or doing like a little workout with them, like to kind of keep them motivated. Because there's been like studies that say, when kids get physical activity, they're like kind of less disruptive in class, or, that's why it's really good to have get all that like energy out so they can like focus in class, which I get. So there was a lot of stuff about, creating like an exercise program, being like a role model for your kids, being like, hey, I'm getting up to do this workout. Let's go do this together.
Right. I have a 6-year-old that gets up at like 6 a.m. and comes down and goes, can I get out of bed yet? No, go back to sleep. It's not noon. Yeah. Anyway, so I get up before noon, just for the record. Before the...
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
sometimes.
so I mean, I get it. In theory, it's great. So okay, it'd be like, great, yeah, let's get up and do a little workout together. I would like to say it's realistic, but I also have mentioned 18 times already, I have teenagers. Like, first of all, they don't want to work out with me. They will walk with me. So if you wanted to go for like a walk in your neighborhood or go to like a trail that's nearby, whatever, like that would be good to get out, get away from the electronics, get, kind of just go out and actually talk to each other if you're feeling it. If you don't really like each other, just pop your headphones in and just walk. That's fine. I do that all the time. But I think that would be more of a realistic thing in my mind, rather than like there was one that was like build a whole like exercise routine, and one of them it made me laugh. So it was trying to get your kids excited about being active while also helping you with chores. So it was like, you fold these 5 shirts and then you go do I think it was like a push up or something. You do like 5 push ups. I was like, girl, listen.
Yeah. You can't get a teenager to do either of those things independently, let alone in series.
Right. It's just, anyway, I feel bad. I'm not trying to bash it. It's just really funny to me because I'm like, okay, well, in theory, that would be great and
Hey,
so fun.
in theory, communism works, but we have seen that in practice that it's not a thing.
Right? Anyway, I thought there was a couple of things in here that would be fun to do with your kids that aren't things like that. I think they're more realistic. So aside from like having to help them with school, and that's a whole other thing. This has nothing to do with that. This is just straight up like you're home on like on a weekend if you're not working, on vacation, literally can't work, whatever. There's everyone's in different situations. So it's not like everyone can just sit and do some online shopping and make themselves feel better. Cause God, I'd love to, but my bank account is like,
right?
LOL.
Yeah. My bank account, my bank account is like what is it? ROLF MAO? What
Rolling
on the floor, laughing my ass off. Like, yeah, it is more than LOLing at me, my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, which is fair. So one of the things that I saw, which I mean, I kind of did anyway, a little bit, but actually I think would be good for you in particular, with the kid. Well, it was basically drawing, kind of learning to draw, kind of stuff like that, or like learn to play an instrument or kind of get better and practice an instrument. And so I think, in this house would be a really cool, a really cool idea, because I mean, yes, it's one thing. Like people say they don't have time to do things, which is just because you don't want to do them if you don't really want to do it. But I think it's a really good suggestion if you like to either draw or create, if you're kind of an artsy person, it'd be really something kind of cool to do with your kids, even as teenagers. I think that you can kind of get them interested into doing something. And if it's not drawing, then kind of learning an instrument. And if you've got like a guitar, like Jillian has like ukulele, there's a keyboard, like doing stuff like that, I think is kind of fun. And then also, I'd be terrible at it, but making fun of your other family members who are terrible at it, also fun.
Yeah.
Activity to do together.
We recently bought a piano for stupid cheap. Like, we got a wicked deal on it. Like a full apartment piano, like it's a legit, really good condition, everything, for $100.
Oh, not like a keyboard, like a piano.
No, like an actual piano for $100.
Amazing.
Ridiculous price.
Can you play the piano? Do you know how to play the piano?
I can play a little bit. I've learned over the years. I used to do a lot of musical acting and things like that, so I've dabbled. But it's not my instrument. Actually, no instrument is my instrument. I play guitar solely to support the fact that I sing, and other people wouldn't play guitar for me.
Right.
Which makes me worry about my singing now that I say that out loud. Anyway,
you're like, wait.
Yeah, hold on. Why wouldn't? Never mind.
Wait a second.
But no, I learned to play guitar so I could sing. That was the end goal for my guitar playing. It was never to be a guitarist.
Right.
And I
but
still
it's something that you could
don't
even
consider
work
myself
on, like
a guitarist.
Right, but if you're home and you want to, kind of hone in on those skills, YouTube is just a plethora of garbage, but also useful stuff.
There's a ton of useful courses and things there. Yeah, absolutely.
There really is. So I think utilizing YouTube, maybe in particular, for certain things, whether it's, I don't know, if you've got kids that are really into makeup and hair or style, like those kind of like fashion type things. I'm not one of those people, but that might be interesting to either check them out, try like some new makeup stuff. Like these are just really things to make us just not go absolutely crazy. This is nothing, these suggestions are nothing to be like help you financially or help you. It's nothing like that. It's supposed to more so just like lighthearted. These are just things you can do to just not go completely insane. So I think it's a really cool idea because like it's the excuse goes away that I don't have time when you're just home all the time. It's just whether it interests you or not, right?
Exactly.
So one of the suggestions was start a podcast / blog.
Nice.
So I was like, oh my God.
Check-a-rooney.
Right? Yeah. But I think I said this before, but there's so much more podcast content out there this year, simply probably because of the pandemic. People can't go anywhere. And so they're like, what else can we do other than just go online and say stuff? Hopefully people listen.
Speaking of people listening and going online, Monica Carroll commented on our live stream on the YouTube.
Hi, Monica.
She says, real live Katie. Hey, guys.
Oh my God, hi.
So yeah, shout out to Monica Carroll listening live on our YouTube while we record this. So you get you get the raw version there, whereas
so sorry.
I equal parts sorry and not sorry. But yeah, you get the raw version there where when you subscribe to iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Breaker, whatever. There you get the edited version, which cuts out like today, the 3 minutes that Katie's internet kicked out. Like that won't exist on the recorded version that goes live to all those platforms. But
that's just the high quality stuff you get on YouTube.
On YouTube, because it's live and I'm not going to edit that file. That exists in perpetuity. Like that's there forever now, which is how the internet generally works anyway.
Love it.
Yeah.
True.
So,
that's very true. You think you can delete it, but you can't because someone will find it.
Yeah. And I'm worried now. I just got a network issue warning on the broadcast, which makes me think that you might have given, like your computer gave my computer the Rona.
You know what? It wasn't wearing a mask. So that's probably what it was.
That's exactly what the problem is.
Sorry. I should have put a mask on it. That's my bad.
Yeah. If you like it, then you should have put a mask on it. That should be the new song.
If you like to live, you should have put a mask on it.
If you want it not to die, you put a mask on it.
Okay.
That's a song you should sing about people who have kids. If you love it, then you should have put a mask on it.
Write that down. That's a brilliant idea.
Right?
We're going to new karaoke pandemic version.
Yeah. Get that rolling.
Love it. Okay. So, yes, drawing, learning to play an instrument, that's kind of really super fun. One of them, obviously it's reading a book, like,
reading a book.
I know.
Nope.
Unheard of. But there was like the reading a book / kind of create, like having like a little book club, like within your family. I'm like, that's so hilarious. Love the idea. Not practical for me, maybe for others. That's why I'm throwing this out there. If you're like, that would be great and my family would love that. Boom. You're welcome, because I'm sure I'm the only one that ever looked that up and gave you that idea. But there was one, and I had to write it down because it said read a saucy book. And so by that they meant like erotica
like an erotic novel,
yeah, like the 50 Shades of Grey.
But
I'm like, with your family or just
like that sounds like not a thing you want to read with some teenagers. Awkward.
I like wrote it down and was like, LOL, like wrote it.
That's the weirdest way to have the birds and the bees talk ever.
Obviously, this was more on a personal level, but it just struck me real funny. I was like, maybe not that. Maybe let's just skip over that one. But I wrote it down and thought I had to just share it with you.
No kidding.
Why not?
I appreciate it. That was adorable. What a stupid suggestion. I love it.
It's fantastic.
It's
so
wonderful.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend reading that with your children. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm literally crying tears. What else was it? Oh, okay. Christmas typey.
What are you on about?
Christmas type activity is I think what I was trying to say.
Nope.
And it came out.
Nope. It's
real
November.
Bad.
Nope.
I know.
Nope.
Look, it's mid-November. It's actually a DIY advent calendar. So creating your own advent calendar, because maybe some of you go and purchase the chocolate ones or there's like a bajillion other different kinds. I highly suggest the ones at the liquor store.
Yeah, no shit.
They came out with a new one here. I mean, at the Nova Scotia one, they have a 20, I want to say this was only a 21 days, which is kind of like what a ripoff, but it's of rum, all these different rums. And so, and Rod's a huge rum lover. And I'm like, because mostly a lot of them that came out,
are they little
like beer.
Are they the little road rockets? Like they're little.
I don't know. I couldn't see inside. Like they had, I just saw a picture of it. So I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. What a great idea. And I think it was like $115, which is really, considering like how many days, they must be at least a decent size.
Well, yeah, they have to be. Like I was thinking like doing it with spirits. So bourbon, rum, all that, but just getting a little road rocket, they're like $3 a piece. So 324 is $75, right?
And so that's what I was going to say. So you can get them at the liquor stores. Like they have all kinds of new ones. However, you can really do it yourself for cheaper. I mean, obviously when you buy things, sorry if that echoed in my ear. I don't know if it did for you, but it just got real loud. Okay. Maybe it's just on my end. Sorry. My voice got loud. Didn't like that.
Yeah. No, on my end, it's fine, but your computer is having issues today. So
I'm also having issues.
You are the issues.
A lot of the time I am. That's true. It's true. But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea if you, as an adult, obviously, want to either make one for yourself or for a significant other or a friend or whatever. Monica, shout out, girl. Maybe we could do one. But
can you send it in the mail?
I'll take one. Whether you do rum. Okay. That'd be great. I'll just have to send you the booze, or just send you the money. You go buy the booze and make it yourself. That's way easier.
I also don't have a problem with that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to me. I refuse to sing Christmas songs, so it's happy birthday with a Christmas type theme. Okay, so I'm
stop.
not. It's not December yet. I can't Christmas music. It's not a thing. So
okay, well, no, and you don't have to. That's totally fine. I'm just saying.
And as soon as December hits, I'm 100% Christmas. I'm all on board. I'm not a Scrooge by any stretch.
No, for sure. I'm totally with you. I get that. It's just for these type of like advent calendar things, you need to kind of do and prepare in advance.
Yeah, no. So I'm sorry. I jumped all over I heard the word Christmas and I just shut down.
And you just totally shut down. The death glare. You actually probably broke my computer just by doing that.
I hit the panic button.
You did.
In my mind.
I felt really attacked. I'm like, wait, okay. It's not like it's, day after Remembrance Day and I'm putting my tree up. I know there are those people because I've seen it. Good for you. You're weird. I'm sorry. It's too much for me. Yeah. But anyway.
The only Christmas I can handle outside of December is Christmas episodes of Community and Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I play the whole series on a loop and I don't give a shit what time of year it is.
True. That's fair. I can agree with that. Anyway, DIY advent calendar. I think it's a great idea. You could do cool stuff with your kids if you want to kind of as part of their Christmas present.
Can you do cool stuff and exclude your kids? Is that a thing?
That's mostly how you have fun.
Okay,
you have to
fair.
exclude them.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot that was part of the recipe.
If you as a parent want to have fun, fuck the kids. So just focus on it. Do not, I saw your face. Don't go there. Anyway, we're moving on. So cool idea. I think for the kids, if you wanted to do it for them, is kind of like what I did for the Easter scavenger hunt thing. Is like I put little kind of items in like the eggs, and they had to go find like 12 of them. They had like 12 different cool smaller things, like a pair of headphones, a phone charger, like stupid little things that instead of putting it in a sock, you could make an advent calendar out of it. Oh, so they get something every day.
That's a good idea.
Right? So like little things so every day leading up to Christmas, they kind of have sock. I mean, that's what I grew up with. We always had one, but it was just stuffed with a bunch of stuff. And I've done that previously for the kids, is we would just get all those little things like,
Yeah, they go in the stocking.
the girls have, yeah, the girls that they're older now. So like there's razors and shave cream and like face masks and body lotions and all of those kind of cool little things that are like, you're not going to give them as like a single gift. I mean, you can, absolutely.
Here's a bottle of Head and Shoulders.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas, you got dandruff. You're gross. Get out of here. I just get them deodorant. You stink. Here.
Yeah. This year it's a theme gift. Everything makes me smell better. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take
a hint. Yeah. Anyway,
everyone around you will thank me later.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think it's a really cool idea, and I think I'm going to do it this year for the girls. Is I think I'm going to buy all of those little smaller things. Not to say it's a cheap thing, but instead of doing a sock and they get it all at once, do like one thing every single day. So right up until Christmas, because it is going to be a very lean Christmas this year for us, and I'm sure for a lot of other people. So I think kind of doing something every day makes it a little bit more fun and exciting, and rather than it just being like a piece of chocolate or something, like, you know, I think that's the route I'm going to go with it anyway. So I thought I'd throw it out there. I thought it was a really cool idea. Adult version, alcohol. Bang, bang,
yeah,
boom.
100%. I mean,
yeah.
It was, as soon as you said advent calendar, my brain never goes chocolate first anymore. It literally goes,
no,
beer advent calendar. But then I'm like, booze advent calendar. I run through all the iterations that are not kid friendly.
Yeah, all of the alcoholic versions.
Yeah, or like, you know,
of everything.
THC gummies as a advent calendar.
Oh, no. I put the wrong ones in the kids' eggs. Oh no.
Eggs,
those are my
that's
gummies.
Easter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I was talking. Anyway. Yes.
All good. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Okay.
Top tweets.
Okay. Wait. I have.
Wait.
I do have one more. Just thought it was really fun.
Oh, okay. Oh, another activity. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, sorry. Two more. I'm going to be really quick because I don't want to take up all your guys' time. But you clicked on this and you know what this is, so it's your fault.
You do it to yourself. You do.
Yeah. See, the singing.
Apparently,
you got mad at
Monica,
me for singing?
Before you go, Monica Carroll commented in the chat, Patrick makes her a craft beer advent calendar.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm assuming Patrick is her husband and not her consort.
We don't know. No, just kidding.
For the folks that don't know her who are listening.
Yes. Oh, that makes total sense. They both love like the craft type beers and stuff. So that's a really cool, very cool idea. Because you can buy them all in like talk. Yeah. Good job, Monica. And Patrick, I guess, because he makes it. So good job. Make me one too, please.
Yeah, me too.
Love you. Yeah.
I will give you my mailing address. No worries.
Perfect. Okay, real quick. So one of the things was, I mean, it seems kind of silly, but actually writing a letter and mailing it. So this I thought was a really cool idea for those who have, those who have elderly family members, or even just parents that you can't see very often. And they, you know how exciting it used to be when you used to get mail? Like, I don't know if anyone knows what that is anymore.
I'm old enough that, yes, I do remember that.
But you know, like how exciting it was. Yeah, I used to love that. And I'm like, you know what? That is such a cool idea. Very cheap. You know, you just literally write it, throw it in it's like, what, I don't know how much stamps are anymore, but whatever. It's just such a cool thing and a really great idea, I think, for those who have either extended family that live far away, Adam. And so like, if you wanted to mail them a letter, and that's kind of cool, like you can kind of keep in touch. And I also would recommend, if you don't have one, but you can kind of get them semi-cheap, is a Polaroid camera. And then you can just take a quick snapshot Polaroid camera, throw it in the letter if you wanted to, and then it's just fun. It's a really cool idea, super cheap to do, and your family members or friends would super appreciate it, I'm sure. So you're welcome.
I like it.
Yeah, so fun. Okay, and the last one I will say is there was one of the suggestions was to kind of download like a fun, because where most people or a lot of people have a lot of electronics, right? So whether it's your cell phone or whatever, to download kind of like a family game that you can play together. So to kind of be on your phones, but have like a game that you can play together.
Well, the girls here play Prodigy, but they only do that together. It's like a math game, but it plays like Final Fantasy, But then instead, like, in order to inflict damage on the monsters, you have to answer math questions.
Oh, very cool. I
Yeah,
love that.
but I love the idea that you're bringing up of like the whole family having something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I have two suggestions. So one, because they're personally ones that I've played. So when the kids were a little bit younger, I'd say probably 3 or 4 years ago. Excuse me. We wanted to find a game that we could all play together because we were on our phones and we're like, let's do something together, and we can do it on the phones to kind of make it a little fun. It's called I don't know if it's just iOS, like iPhone. I don't know if you can get it for Android. I have no idea, but it's called Fun Run. And so it's a racing game. You're these fun little like animal characters, and the more you play and the more points you get, you can unlock other types of animals. And you can buy them outfits and all that. It's so fun. And it's basically they run and you just jump. You're racing each other. So it's basically you're all racing each other, and you can like kill each other as you're running.
Okay, so we'll put the link to that on our Facebook page. That's something Katie's gonna have to find and put the link for.
I will do that.
Do a search, see if there's an Android link so we can put both links.
Okay, I will do that. Anyway, super fun. We loved it. The kids loved it. It was like we were super competitive. It was hilarious. We had such a good time. So I highly recommend that. Another one, which is all the rage, which a lot of people might know about because it's kind of everywhere, but maybe it's because I have teenagers and that's why I know about it. But it's called Among Us.
Yes.
I don't know if you've...
I've played that.
So fun.
Super fun. Is that like, I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. Is that...
Well, that's the thing. That's up to you. So because it's not like there's anything gruesome about it. It does basically
you're supposed to murder people.
You are.
Your job is to murder your friends. I feel like maybe that's not a game I want my 6-year-old to play, but teenagers 100%. Absolutely.
Right, and that's why I know about it, which is why I'm suggesting it, because probably not good for little ones.
Orange is sus.
Right. Okay. I'm obsessed with it. Allison and Jillian both showed it to me, and I'm like, I don't understand this game. This seems dumb, and now I can't stop playing it, and I want to play with them all the time, and now I annoy them to play with me. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. If you don't know what it is, literally just play it, and you'll see it. It's amazing. So fun. Probably for the older kids.
And it's free to play on your phone or tablet.
Yes.
But it costs $5 if you want the computer version of it. But I've heard that the computer version is much better. Not that I've played it on there, but I've heard that version is like above and beyond way better and more fun to play.
Yeah, I've also heard that too. So there is that option. So I just play it on my phone right now because I'm cheap and just don't feel like doing it. So anyway, those are my suggestions. Take them or leave it. If you got your own suggestions, feel free to send those along because Lord knows we need it. Whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do top tweets. Always very disorganized. You know me. So the first one I have for you today is from @loud_mama. Can relate. So it says, me, I have no time to read a book. Also me, reads through a useless online thread with over 1,200 comments. So remember when we said we don't have time to read? Yeah, you do. You know, you're down there going, oh, you scroll there for like an hour.
Yeah.
Reading
doom scrolling Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. This one made me laugh because it's living with teenagers or even young kids too, because they just say the most random words and they come up with their own language. But it's from @HowToBeADad. And it says, a swear jar, but for my 11-year-old kid, but it's for when he calls me bro or says words like yeet.
Oh, yep. I'm into it.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. Hang on. Wait for it. Oh my goodness. Where is it? I had a good one.
Always organized as Katie.
Okay, I went and found them. I just was stupid. I normally favorite them. So when I go into my favorites, they're like the first couple that are there. And I didn't do that this time because I'm dumb. Okay, so I'll just go with this one. It's @MarriageMartini. Okay. So very much like that handle.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So it says, my husband and I got stuck in an elevator and we came home and told my daughter the story about it. She looked straight at us and said, so did you get out? So tonight I'll be drinking her college fund.
Yeah.
Clearly she don't need it.
Wow.
But have you ever done that? You know, like someone.
How does
you
the
just
story
say, like,
end? Did you
Yeah,
die?
you just say, did you guys make it out? It's like, no, we died. We died. We're just here. We're not actually here. Anyway, I've done that. Like I've actually said really stupid things like that before. So God bless my parents dealing with me. Anyway, that's it. You made
Awesome.
it through. Hopefully. I don't know.
We did.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. We are going to be leaving you now. So that'll be fun.
That face.
Yeah. So
But thank you for listening. If you have suggestions for potential lockdown, current lockdown, I know you hate the word, but Christmas type economic calendar ideas, please send those to us, whether it's, I don't know, we've got Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to send it to us, please let us know because we could use the ideas and I would very much appreciate it.
Right on. All right, people, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.